the rounds that BDS were able to get on the side swap just put them a little bit too far ahead. So we go into our ban phase here on Clubhouse, map number 2 of this best of 3 series, and to surprise of absolutely nobody, it's Thatcher first to go.
Yeah, Thatcher the first to be removed. Ban coming in now from BDS, and we'll see who they're going to take on out of this one. 1 second gone, they waited, they bided their time, they took out Maverick, who was one of the operators that Bolo was picking time and time again on the first map.
The Maverick makes sense here, because when you ban this Maverick away, it's harder to get that wall open. It forces you now, okay, we can't trick it, we're going to use our nades down below. Essentially, that's what they're going to do. They're going to force a play downstairs, which means you have to go below, like use your nades if you're going to clear CC. So it is going to be a little bit more around that play, and I don't think it surprised anyone. Again, Valkyrie isn't get banned away. We saw what Shaiko could do with the MPX. We saw how useful those cameras, that extra information was for BDS. TSM don't want to play against that one again. So we saw how strong BDS were on Theme Park. Are you daring enough to make a prediction for this one?
I went for them in map number 1, but map 2, this is Clubhouse's game. I think BDS will probably take this one away. This is where they want it to go. You know, when you get into these 9 map pools and you're in best of 3 banning, you're guaranteed to play your, one of your favorite maps. They're taking in the Clubhouse. This is a map where once again they can play it similar to Theme and frustrate TSM.
The last pick I'm going to bring in is the Zombies in play. We see that operator choice out right now. TSM do like to ban Azami. When you look through all the operator bans during the NAL, Azami is one that is a recurring theme for this side. And we look at the rest of this lineup. A Castle in play, an Oryx. Yeah, they're going upstairs at their own presence. This, and we even see Moto Hatch open. So they're going to try and spread themselves across the entirety of this map and make BDS work for every inch. It's something that a lot of people refer to as the SSG roam, again, from their era of dominance on this map in particular. However, we all know the counters to it. It's not exactly a bulletproof strategy anymore, and BDS might be able to crack that one relatively quickly, and Alems and the Nook might just be able to sneak past enemy lines here and get himself in a nice position early against TSM.
Yeah, TSM looking to keep that NA 100% record here on Clubhouse against EU over this tournament, as we saw SSG win this map yesterday. Shaiko taking the Finca, but achieved playing that position down in Adam. C4 prep ready, thrown at Shaiko. Not only does he click heads, he clicks utility, and then he is going to throw a little bit of explosive utility his own way, and really achieved nothing there.
Merc, though, will get a little bit better. He'll be able to find that pick and trade off on the Shaiko. Good free action to get that C4 shot out by him, but Merc just too quick to the draw that time around. Lems inside a bar now, just waiting for a call, some information, some pressure from the rest of his side to make that play in. Over a minute now, minute 55 left in this round, and Lems still lurking, still waiting. Bolo a good position up on rafters to try and burn time. Zami gates continue, not Zami gates, there's a Rooney barriers keep building up in the back pocket. Alems in sight. Okay, hello Alems, bye-bye Geo, he's in sight, and this is going to be the trigger for an execution. He'll find a second one now, he'll look for a third, and he gets it! Alems on a rampage, and TSM caught flat-footed. They know what players inside of Oil Pit, and that is surely all she wrote. Bolo against 3, and he's going to get caught out by Rafal, just waiting for him to ascend. And that is, well, how to counter that SSG roam? That's how.
Just straight to sight. I'm pretty sure the comms there for TSM. Look, they're on sight. There's Alems. Peeks in through from Church, gets one, gets the player on dirt, pushes into blue, gets him as well, and Alems is able to clutch it out. That shot from Merc was absolutely fantastic. But look at Alems. This is the one, and that is what Nook is so good at.
Nook, when you speak to players across all levels of competitive, is the most annoying operator. It is a factor that is difficult to control because you can't hear her, you can't see her on your cameras if the player of Nook is effective with that gadget, and can just pop up and be in places you don't expect. Who expects LMs to be on site right then? Guess what? Not TSM. And we see BDS get that very first round. We'll see a site rotation as well from TSM going up to Gym Bedroom now. They'll extend themselves in CC and Cash. That's no surprise to what this setup will be, but BDS once again starting off fantastically on their map choice this time.
And that was just really good game sense as well from BDS. You know that you killed a player in Adam, then you got refragged from there as well. You could see the Azamis up on top of, Garage. So realistically, there's only 2 players on site. One of them probably playing around Church, one of them playing around Dirt, and Alems took full advantage of it.
opportunistic. You've got to be at this level of competitive play. Alem saw a chance, he took it. Absolutely fantastic. Benefited completely from it. BDS get the round. Well, we see a similar story. Shaiko once again on that Finker will try and make that entry player work. Will drone himself inside of stock and lounge. Playing independently from the team just a little bit right now, so no one's hot droning for him. He's not following a droning, he's trying to do all the work himself. And when you have a player as talented as Shaiko, you might want drones to go ahead of him to get him all that information. But he is that talented, he can probably do it himself as well. Playday will get this wall open. That will make it very awkward to rotate around inside of construction. And they're slowly but surely sort of opening up these key positions. And I don't think we're going to even contest that roam clear inside of CC.
And you touched on the drones as well. Only 2 of 10 have been taken out of this one already. And there's a minute gone in the stage. And now BDS are going to get putting in that work. As you can see, multiple players all droning things out. Now Shaiko is the only player, apart from Rinshiro, who just came off the drone, who is actually not doing some intel work on site. And there is that, the barrier, the laser gate, that is just holding out the push into logistics, but that's another one that's pretty easy to clear, especially when you've got Sophia.
So they've cleared that away, giving themselves ease of use to get some utility sent and try and clear anyone inside of Logi. The option to not clear CC and Cash now leaves them vulnerable to this window. So they have to be cautious and watch that, as Gio will be very, very keen to take that fight. Not in a close position to do so, but Lems, once again, on a little bit of a crouch walk. He will find the electric wall down below, so that means, guess what? Jacuzzi wall is free, and he maybe might consider walking up main stairs or sending in some depth charge nades to cause some chaos. Look at that Kaid, just lurking, just waiting on main stairs to try and catch anyone napping.
But with the wall open and with Alems below, there is the opportunity to make that push. But now Gio will rotate back to site, but which direction will he go? Brafal gets the opener with 55 seconds on the clock, and Alems is going to get slammed by Gio as Pojo pulls one as well. Playday pushing into the site, though, aggressively up against that bathroom wall. Looking in towards Jim. And now things slow down once more. Shaiko pre-firing the stairs. Gio gets Ren. Bolo is going to get Playday. And Shaiko finds himself in a 1v4, but we've been here before.
He's getting one there. That's Bolo, the first one off the board. I'm beginning to believe he might just be able to do it. With 20 seconds, he can get himself a top of HP if he so needs or requires. But Achieved gets it done, shuts it down, ties us up. 1 round apiece.
1 round apiece and better from TSM, and just able to get kills in bunches. It's not giving those attackers much time to change up their attack whenever they lose players. But this is a very interesting game that we have going on, because that first round win was really clinical.
It was. I mean, when we saw BDS do that, they were opportunistic, right? They saw the strategy, they saw their own presence, they knew exactly what they needed to do. That's why LMs was on the Nook, for example. They knew, okay, they're going for this 2-1-2, what I call it, SSG, what everyone else will know it as, roam presence. LM just walked it. We all know that's vulnerable to a rush, and it wasn't a rush necessarily, but LM decided to be the X factor of that round. TSM that time didn't give BDS an inch. They kind of said, we're not letting you in the building, basically, was the story of that one. And so that stems from the decision to not have any pressure inside a garage, inside a CC. They let TSM have essentially control of the entire top floor and have the work around it. They tried to do a wild, taking no control and just going direct to site. Didn't work out. TSM got themselves in it, and I do think it's going to be a far closer affair than what we saw at Theme Park.
It will be, but they have taken all the pieces again for that roam. Oryx and Castle are in place. Bolo taking Azami once more. Last time Bolo played up on top of Raptors and got pretty bored. No push whatsoever came from TSM from that direction. But Bolo this time inside bedroom, waiting for the spawn peek, hoping one of those BDS heads will peek. Merc is spawn peeking as well. Never mind letting them in. They're not even going to let them near the building, as the Lems will be the first to fall. 2 spawn peeks, 1 successful, and BDS playing from a man down.
That's what they need to do. This is what TSM need to do. They need to get in the face of BDS right now. This map tends to lead attacker favored. So, oh, Shaiko! What a read to Pojo. Shuts it down. Finds a trade and Achieved. You'll burn a C4 to retreat. You don't want to brawl with Shaiko. Thinking he might have rotated deep inside of blue already. He will just wait, but Shaiko will be just as patient as he will hold on to blue stairs and wait and be patient, as he knows he's got everyone working the rest of his team around to put pressure and perhaps move someone into his line of sight.
He's got a massive cutoff. He is holding such a vital cutoff in this map. Bolo takes a lot of gunfire this time around as Shaiko still holding this position. Rafal gets Merc. Shaiko will trade it out with Bolo as both fall, but it is now a 3v2, and Playday is putting that case on the floor, and he will be shouting percentages. Time will 1% is sure. The win percentage for BDS is going up as achieved. Will fall. It's down to Geo, but there's Rafal, and that is another round win.
Themselves back in. So damage limitation might be a decision again. You cannot get out of touching distance of BDS to TSM. Try and trade one back, get yourselves level again, and work from there.
And the only saving grace, I think, for TSM is even if they do go down 2-0, there is the opportunity to go through the lower bracket. This isn't last chance saloon just yet, but the winner of this game gets a day, the rest of the day off, and we know how vitally important that can be to do your prep, because you're just going to sit back, put the feet up, and watch those lower bracket games and do your prep work.
Exactly, more time to book some scrims as well, get something done, dry runs, anything. So really it seems, I mean, there's a lot running in this in terms of competition play, right? Seeing these teams at work, the meetings, the prep work, the volume they all do, they are all hyper fixated on getting the best performance possible. TSM, even with Pojo in, still doing that, putting in the work. One thing I will say about this setup, I don't like this setup as I don't think Bolo likes Ranchero too much as he just sends it on out the window and shuts him down. I don't like these armor barriers on the castle or on the barrages like that, because if you send the nade directly on towards it, you throw your nade not over but directly at that keeper barrier, guess what? The ADS doesn't catch it. Merkur will catch your fall, find that in BDS very early, finding themselves at 5v3 disadvantage.
The only saving grace is they do have 2 hard breach, so the job's still possible, but I agree with you 100%. There's still 3 nades in the hands of BDS, so work still to be done by Merc. Shaiko, did he just miss drone?
I believe he did. I believe he has no idea. Lems will get 1, however, and Geo in a very good position to be an agent of chaos. Find some success if he's given the chance to do so. Lems cautiously approaching, trying to get control, whatever he can do. It won't be an easy tasking. It'll be very, very difficult for him to do so, but BDS right now in problem-solving mode, trying to figure out what changes to do, how to make this work. They will get that wall open. It's the first check on this tick list. With a minute 30 left to go, they're in a good position. If they can find that pick to get themselves level, this round opens up massively.
And Merc is a sneeze away from falling, as Shaiko will get rid of even more utility and begin droning. Playday doing the exact same, because BDS now being held out as the first smoke canister has been used with 1 minute and 20 seconds on the clock. Alam's just peeking an inch above the head, pre-frying the window, but they desperately want 1 pick in this situation, because all 3 of these players playing solely focused on the breach, and Alam's gets that kill. That should open it up, but there's the smoke that will buy some time for TSM.
That buys them 10 seconds, but guess what? Shaiko is chomping at the bit. He's lapping at the gates. He wants in, but Alam's on the flank inside of Garage. If he can catch anyone here, if anyone is so daring to go for a rotation, he might be able to find them. But Shaiko, he will take an invitation, but no, he'll back away. He's cautious. He doesn't want to push in so carelessly. Alams now has control of Rafters. He has himself an avenue of entryway as well, shooting through that wall with his hammer, and it's time to go for BDS. They cannot wait too much longer. A nade gets sent in, but Shaiko will find one to achieve. The nade goes deep, and it finds it. BDS collapse, and TSM crumble upon the pressure. Another round and a recovery effort this time for BDS. They lost 2 players at the beginning of that round, and they still got it done.
And when they were all up around that breach, they needed that 1 kill on the Merc in the Garage. And the minute that kill was gotten, they rotated back, took Garage control. And when you have players in those positions in a 3v3, that is an attacker favorite situation, especially when there was only 1 smoke canister left.
With 1 canister left, you only die 10 seconds. You can't keep BDS waiting. They want in, and I'm pretty sure Shaiko would have went through that smoke anyway if he needed to get the job done. So, 3-1, your scoreline. The narrative of this one is TSM cannot let BDS get daylight between them. They need to stay in touching distance, they need to keep the pressure on. BDS in complete control. 3v5, the beginning of that round with the Bolo spawn peak, the fight in rafters, and guess what? Didn't face them. They solved the problems as they presented, were talented enough to get the picks they needed. TSM had just no answer to that final last gasp execution. BDS, absolutely another level right now.
And they've been pretty much doing this without Ranchero. He's gone down twice to spawn peaks in this one already. So the 4 men of BDS carrying and Playday, that 1 kill was a vital one that allowed them to complete that execute. And as we look, this is now, if BDS win this round and they go 4-1 up, this script could be sent off to the directors to be completed and filed through, because as of right now, BDS looks so good and they're looking to maybe catch the best EU team here in Wild.
A nice little dig there. Of course, Wild doing EU proud as well. I'm not going to pick favorites, but Lambs will pick Bolo's brain and he'll remove him from this round early. BDS opening pick once again. TSM need to quell the fire quickly. BDS aren't a team that will pounce too quickly, but everyone feels a little bit pressured now. You lost a player, and this hold inside CC begins to waver just a little bit. Merc plays aggressive around these windows, trying to fight something back, trying to get in. Geo will look to brawl around rafters, but his time might be limited. He's going to have to be forced for a retreat, but Shaiko will get one to Merc. Geo takes a beating as well as Pojo. Everything looks to be coming up BDS, but who will stand tall for TSM if anyone can clutch it up?
Bolo overrated. Shaiko is just absolutely slamming this one out as Team BDS look to take a 4-1 lead, but there's still presence inside cash. Pojo's holding one angle. Lems, who has gotten vital picks in this one so far, 8 and 2. The KD sits at 4, but he is hunting for more as he pushes up towards the door, pre-firing. Minute and 15 left on the clock, which is still an eternity for BDS.
They have so much time to work with. They have all the freedom they need. And guess what? They shut down Geo. They have this entire side of the map. Geo, you should run away. He's going to try and stand tall and take the fight. But 3 bodies and a nade surely will arrive to clear him. And there it is. But he's just creeped himself close enough. Surprise factors and a second nade as well. He will catch one. Napping it will be Playday. But there's a trade. Rafal will find it. Pojo gets the Lems. And now it's Shaiko and DBNO. There's a chance. But will they finish him? Nope. He gets himself back up with that nano boost, but Pojo out the window he goes. He'll get traded, and now it's all down to Achieved alone against 2. Ranchero and Rafal. He's inside of Logi. Do they know? They do now. Rafal shuts it down. BDS get themselves even further away from TSM.
It's just they're streaking ahead now. They're getting such a commanding lead that it looks very difficult for TSM. Bolo needs to start stepping up. He's one of the best players in the world for a reason. I've grown up watching this guy. Bolo to me is an idol of mine, but he's not really got the kills on the board with it. And this has been, so far, the Lems and Shaiko show.
Defenders, protect your bombs from being defused by attackers.
I mean, these 2 players have stood so tall. This is the best we've seen from BDS in a long time. If we look at how the performance inside of the UL was, it's not been great. This is a little bit of a revitalized roster. Again, TSM, not again another team, another storyline coming in this one. I think equally matched, I think, in terms of overall performance in their national areas. BDS are not phased by anything TSM are doing right now and look in complete control. The easy asterisk to this situation is Pojo is in for Snake, of course. We can't really, that's something we have to look at. That is a factor going into this round, of course. But the way BDS are playing,
5 seconds to go.
they might be able to beat anyone here this weekend.
This is the BDS that
Attackers are moving out
we've
to
been
locate a
missing
bomb
for a
and
long
defuse
time in EUL. It really is. And the fact that they're turning up at LAN is a good sign, because at the end of the day, there's still events to play over the course of this competitive year. And BDS will want to bounce back. Maybe not making it to the major, what could actually do them some favors in the long run and allow them to really work on what was going wrong.
I mean, they get a little bit of an extra break. Of course, they're here playing in G8, and then after this, they'll have some time to rest and recover between stages, so they can, rework the strat, but figure things out, try and solve any internal issues that might be lingering from the stage. Bolo might want to go out this window. He's thinking about it. He really wants to. But eventually, they're going to work at clearing this wall, getting it open, and using that as an avenue to start pushing and getting that initial map control. Bolo will stand in the way. And they're lined up through that window. I saw you get excited there, but no. Well, I won't be able to quick enough on the draw. Of course, he wouldn't know he was there. Had no information. He'll fall back. But we see that LMG, I hear it fire off, and Achieved takes a beating, and Playday will find Merc. Shaiko will find Achieved, and what will BDS get one? More often follow. Alems gets Geo. Bolo will try and claw it back. He'll get a pick to Shaiko, but it's all but over. Ranchero finds him, and now it's all down to one player, Pojo, but he won't last long. BDS absolutely clear right now. No answers from TSM.
5-1 on attack. They just need 2 rounds out of 6 to go ahead and get this win with it.
This is the exact same story on Theme Park. 5-1, both times on their opening side. And a little bit different now on the attack. That's how the map tends to lean. But TSM had no answer. Absolutely nothing. This is huge for BDS right now. 2 more rounds. Can they close it out? Can TSM dig deep once again, or try and dig deep once again, and get themselves back in this one? It's a long road to 5 rounds. They need to get 4 more to get themselves level.
They haven't even taken time out. If they lose this one, they're in a horrible situation to be in. Team BDS, the 1 round away from match point and series point as they move on to defense. Now, every time that they won this basement, they just went, you know what, the fastest way to anywhere is a straight line as they push directly to site. Are TSM going to take something out of that book? Or will the members of BDS be able to clutch out their first round on defense?
Well, round 7, I often refer to this as one of the most influential rounds inside of a matchup, because it is that transition between attack and defense. It changes it. These are 2 different games. You know, they play differently. There's different things you need to prioritize, even different roles for certain teams. Players can swap around on that. If BDS can get this off to a cracking start and put themselves on match point in the very first defensive round, you gotta look at TSM and go, is there a reply? Is there an answer there? For everyone who's a TSM fan, I'm sure you hope there's a reply, something, and I hope that you find it now on the attacking side, which again is favored in Clubhouse's current state.
It is, and Bolo's going to get to work straight away and open up that wall with that jacuzzi wall. Just gives them another way to push in the site, and there's nobody there to greet him just yet, but the door has been left open. 2 minutes to play for both these sides. Looking at those defenders, they've got 4 of them playing down on side, so not very much of a roam presence whatsoever. But there is a roam presence that's called the Ghost Roam, where those attackers will clear out the top floor looking to find that roamer, but he's just not there.
Good use of mute jammers there to choke out the information. We saw Achieve having to deal with that one. But as we're going to go through this, it is what you said. It is a little bit of a ghost roam. There's no one actually here from BDS, and Achieve or TSM do need to clear it. They don't know the information. Those mute jammers have slowed them down, and they'll waste vital seconds. But they've cleared it. They've identified, okay, no one's there anymore. Now they'll start moving and getting the motions rolling to get the execution at least closer to go time. Minute 25 left to work in this round. They'll start the vertical positions on top of the main stairs, trying to clear anyone out from that position. But Playday has a C4 primed and ready, and he's just waiting for the call. No Valkyrie cameras in play this time, of course. However, I think these players have enough game sense to time it perfectly.
Well, the C4 has been popped, and it is going to get wasted, and Achieved is going to waste no time whatsoever. And pushing inside, looking at the attacker side, they've still got plenty of utility, but with it, look, Merc is already down bottom main, and he picks up the kill on Dualems, and there is a downed player as well.
So in a technical 3, well, now actually an official 5 versus 4, Playday still inside of dirt with that shotgun, trying to lock down that lane. It looks right now that TSM are going to go for that execution from the kitchen hatch. Merc will play a pivotal role in trying to stop that cross, as well as anyone who's daring at the push down dirt. But TSM have 30 seconds to make it work. Can BDS close this one out? They've got smoke canisters in their back pocket as well, and all the guns are going to work, but the drop is there. Pojo's already in sight. Shaiko will get one the Bolo. He'll find a second with the Geo. Rafal pops off. Everything in favor of BDS except the fact Pojo gets the case down. He'll try and brawl his way, but he's in no man's land. Achieved is there for cover, but he will be slain. All down to Achieved. In a 1 versus 2, he knows one player's coming up to try and pressure him, but don't get hyper fixated. You need information. He'll try to deny the plant, but no. Shaiko 3 in the round and the defuse. BDS BDS match, map, and series point.
Wow. Again, Shaiko, whenever they need him, he steps up. And a little bit of help coming in from Rafal. They win another round. And they are just one round away from that semi-final. And if my math isn't wrong, well, that's one round away from another 100K on the prize pool.
I mean, this is massive for this team. Every stage you get further, of course, your earnings are higher, and every team, every org loves that as well. Shaiko, what a performance, though, 3 in the round and the counter defuse as well. TSM, now forced to be flawless. No mistakes required, no mistakes allowed if you want to continue your run. Otherwise, the lower bracket is waiting. And when you go to that lower bracket, when you lose that extra life you have, things get a little bit more tense. Things get a little bit scarier for it. Everything means a little bit more, but BDS, look at that scoreline. EU on top, am I right? 6-1 against TSM. EU still undefeated in this competition. And if TSM don't find a reply soon, that's going to continue.
I am all for it. We've been waiting a long time for EU to get on top of NA teams. And BDS and Wild are looking to just carry that torch. We are ready. This is match point BDS, and we are going up to Gym Bedroom. Lems is going to play in secret just to catch out any of those attackers. And that's the joy of this map, but because there's multiple ways to rotate from one point to another.
I mean, there's at least 2. Perhaps even 3. But you can actually rotate your way around. It is not as linear as other maps. The reason that teams are why people say it is an older map. Lots of teams understand it very well, so those rotations are harder to make because people understand the flow and the rhythm of this map very well. So TSM right now, it is in the focus up, play your game, lock in, and get the job done. You cannot make a mistake. A single opening death here is essentially an absolute catastrophe. Alem's on her own down in the basement. No one's going to know about him for a very long time. We're going to try and clear this upstairs, try and get as much information as possible. But so far, slow, cautious, and a little bit of scared to losing from TSM.
And it is just so hard for TSM. 5 rounds back-to-back is what they require just to force overtime. The job wouldn't even be done then. But one job that is done, they've got the jacuzzi wall open. Now you can flip, go around on the other side. It's so important when you attack this site that you go from multiple angles. Alem's still playing down in basement. When will he decide that the time is now to push back on up? Shaiko playing in and around site. He will get the information that construction wall has now been opened too. So a lot of work being put into TSM, lots of prep work.
It's a lot of posturing for TSM right now. They've got the wall open, they're slowly getting map control, but keyword there is slowly. It's a minute 15 left. They have a lot of positions open, they have no opening picks. BDS are a little bit compressed right now and feeling uncomfortable, and that nade's going to make Ranchero very uncomfortable as well. And that C4 will send Achieved all the way back to observation. Pojo will get aggressive and find one. Shaiko gets another one, but oh, here comes TSM! Here comes Pojo! Finding 3, leaving it all down to Lems to close this map out right here, right now. SMG11 primed and ready, decides it's time for the shotgun. He's going brawling. Are you kidding me? BDS take Clubhouse. They take the series. TSM to the lower bracket you go.
BDS are back, and they have done it in absolutely fantastic form. Big 2-0 win over N.